Not feeling accomplished at all. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel La Fraise. Today I'm going to take you way back in time. Weeks and weeks ago we're going to make 3 swimsuits together. The first one is the pole dance outfit that I'm making for my friend. You might have seen it at the end of the late art video where I did the first top and it was way too small. It absolutely doesn't fit. So this was the first one, and then I'm remaking this one with an FBA. So if you want to see the FBA, I'll make sure I'll put that first so you can see the tutorial section. Then you're going to see me make a swimsuit for myself, and then finally a swimsuit for my friend who's leaving for the US. I'm also making a swimsuit for her. So a lot of swimsuit action coming up in this video, and then I have a few lessons learned at the end as usual. Hey, and I also wanted to say there's so many new people here. Like literally I have quite a few new subscribers. This is so exciting and a little bit crazy, but I really wanted to say, because some of you I feel like I know because you often comment and you said, oh, this is my name, this is where I'm from, and I feel like I know you. But I thought it'd be really fun if you introduce yourself in the comment, tell me like your name, where you're from, and you can tell me what you're currently working on and what is your dream project. So this way I get to know you a little bit better too, because I feel like there's quite a few of you, and yeah, I want to start to know you guys. Okay, so now we're going to look together how to make an FBA. So you're going to start by taking your pattern pieces, the original ones, so your front side piece and your front center piece. In your front side piece, you're going to cut a line that's going to go to the apex of the bust and then to the top. I don't cut fully to the top just to keep the piece in one go, you shall see. And then I also cut a line that goes on the side, a little bit like this. So you first have to find the apex on the pattern. That means the fullest point on the bust. If you have made a muslin, that's going to be easier to find, but otherwise you kind of have to put the pattern pieces on you and find where the apex is going to be. You are going to cut the first line to the apex and then join to the top, and then the other line across. I personally don't cut them fully off, this way the pattern piece stays in one piece and I find it a little bit easier to manage. The only thing I cut fully off is an extra little line at the bottom to keep the shape of the bottom piece. This way it's easier to retrace afterward, you'll see. And you're going to open this FBA, so open those gaps, those different gaps, more or less, depending on if you need more or less extra space, which is something you have seen during your muslin time. Now I'm going to take the front center piece and I'm going to cut one line at the level of the apex and one that's going to match the small piece you have cut at the bottom of your side piece. So this is what your side piece looks like. You see I have cut the extra corner to create a little space, and I place it to add as much space as I need in my bust. I put it on a piece of paper and I trace around it to create my new pattern piece. So this is what my new pattern piece looks like. So as you can see, I'm measuring against my side piece, the new side piece, how much extra space I need in the middle piece. And I'm creating those little notches to help me remember. Then afterwards, get the side piece away, I take my center piece and I sticky tape it onto my paper, following the marks. This way, it allows me to create a new piece that has a little bit extra room that I need. When I will cut this piece, I will have to true up the line. That means retracing a line between the different points, because if I follow the line as it is now, it's going to create a little bit of a zigzaggy effect. I personally don't even bother retracing it. I just start from the corner and then cut straight across to the other corner. But if you feel better, take a ruler and trace that line between the two corners. This way your trued line is perfect and clear for you. In this case, I make the most of having the paper to also add a little bit of extra fabric. This is a little bit more coverage in the bust area. And then you can cut the piece. So cutting those few pieces, you now have your new pattern with your FBA ready to sew. And just to show you, because I don't have one of those fancy tripods to film from above, so this is my setup, and this is a coat hanger that allows me to film from above. I just wanted to show you. I found that trick on YouTube and I thought it was very nifty. My hair isn't already drying like full-on ringlets. does that sometimes when it gets extremely curly. Sorry, we're not here to talk about my hair. I wanted to share a pet peeves, which is the fact that with the Gutman thread, the color code is on the little sticker at the top, but the sticker goes away when you put your thread on the spool, on the stick, when you put your thread on a machine. And so then, if you need to go and buy more, or imagine you wanted to send your wife to buy more while you're sewing and you're like, just go and get more thread, you don't have the code left on this. And I find this very frustrating. I guess it's because they have all of the same spools and then they add the sticker on top. But I would really prefer if the color was on the spool itself so that afterwards I remember what it is. So what I've done this time is I took a photo of the color tag and I'll keep the photo until I'm finished the project. So I've just cut the whole outfit. This is the back. Her breast does not fit in this. This is the back for her pole dance outfit. And originally I was going to use this red thread. This is what the website from Cousette, which is where the fabric is from, the website said use red, which I understand why, but I'm not super convinced, especially because I'm lining it in a, pale skin color lycra. So I have decided to go more to match this for the thread. And I think that'll be fine for it here as well. If I really have to do top stitching here, I might bust out my red. This is the original red I have bought with the red lycra that you see in the start of the video. So this one is a little bit warmer and it matches this quite well. When the other red that I used for the lycra, if you remember, you've probably seen it a few minutes ago. For me, it's quite a few days ago now, is a cooler red. So this is leftover red. I'm going to keep it on the side, but for now I'm going to use this one. As you can see, I've used the same stitch as I've used on the leotard. So that's the friend who liked this decorative stitch. As you can see, I ran out of thread just in the middle of the bust. And so what I did is I unpicked it until I was in this red section and then I restarted my thread. It's not super neat, but I restarted it in the red section. At least it's a little bit less visible. But so if something like that happens to you, I also hope that you have a fabric with different colors and that you can go back and hide in the red. But in any case, it doesn't matter. This is going to be fully ripped apart because this top was way too small. It's the one that made me realize she needed an FBA. So I showed you the FBA at the start because if you came for that, I wanted to make sure you had it at the start. But this is the first one that was not safe for the internet. You're not going to see it on her. And then I'm remaking the new one with the FBA. I first made a muslin with the FBA and then I'm cutting the proper one. Guys, never go on autopilot. Autopilot is never good. Autopilot doesn't always know what it's doing. I have now unpicked all of this elastic out of my swimsuit. I still have the 2 armholes to unpick. I'm so annoyed. I'm trying to decide if it's worth me removing all of the threads that's stuck in this elastic or not. I'm just feeling annoyed at everything, mostly at myself because I just went way too fast. And just, for context, I have sewn a lot of elastic in my life. I make my own underwear, I have sewn a leotard recently, I have sewn a bikini recently, and I was sewing my own, the same pattern, like a different view of the same pattern. So nothing, that I wouldn't be able to do. And I sewed the elastic against the right side, felt really good, blah, blah, blah. And then when it comes to turning it over, and then you have to top stitch, I'm like, wait, it's not enclosed. No, because the elastic has to be sewn on the wrong side and then you fold it and it's enclosed. And I'm like, how did I, the answer is going too fast, not thinking, being like, yeah, right on the right side, because obviously in sewing, you often sew on the right side, right side against right side, but here not. And now I have to unpick. I think I will just leave the thread in this elastic, but yeah, so I have to unpick the two armholes. I really had a moment where I was like, I'm just throwing away the bikini, I'm sick of it. But I think I tried it on and I think it's going to fit. So I was like, it would be too silly to not see it through now. So yeah. And I have been unpicking with my scissors. I've literally been going with the scissors through the zigzag. So it's not even like it took that long for the amount of elastic. It's just, there's a lot of elastic and it's just so silly. Okay, I will stop. That was my pity party. I will stop now, and I should have a lunch break as well. It's past midday, so I'm sure I'm hungry and that's not helping with the mood. But you know, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna quickly finish the elastic before lunch and feeling accomplished and everything, and it's like not feeling accomplished at all. Okay, it happens. I'm sure you have those ones as well when you sew, and at least you can see that mistakes happen to everyone, even when it's not at all your first swimsuit, which makes it even more frustrating. Making silly mistake on something that should be easy, that really frustrating. Okay, moving on. Love you guys. See you later. Okay, everything is unpicked, and the reasonable thing to do right now would be to stop and have lunch, but I still really have it in my head that I want to have this finished before lunch, so I'm going to try to, without rushing it too much, because there's no point making more mistakes that then we'll have to fix, but I'm going to try to sew this bit and then, you know, feeling happy and motivated that this is done, and then have it done and then have my lunch break. So the point is, this is a bikini top with a crisscross at the front. And what I would like to do is have all the elastics done now before lunch. Here you are, so that's the crisscross at the front. And to keep for after lunch the bottom band and the bottom elastic. This way it's an easy way to finish after that. But I feel like, yeah, I want to finish this now. I can do it. Let's go. Yay! Okay, this took half an hour, time for lunch. I'm very happy this is done. I didn't believe that this would work. Honestly, when I was trying the bra on originally, it felt so small. I was like, this is not going to be safe for the internet. And look, these are the shorts. I don't know if that video came out. Sorry, this was my hip. That video came out yet or not, but those are my new paper bag shorts made in Liz Taylor bike fabric. Another one for my holidays, but look at this bikini top. Honestly, it felt like it wouldn't be possible until you put the bottom band that kind of like cinching you in and that kind of holds everything together, and then all by magic you fit. That is so cool. I'm really happy. I'm really happy because I really thought for one moment, I was like, with the elastic drum, I was like, it's not meant to be, let's just give up. But I don't like waste, so I decided not to give up, and now I am so happy. And I already have a bikini top that goes with the bottom I have in this fabric, but that's a very covered bikini top, and so I wanted a more revealing option, but not too revealing. If you know me, I do like to keep the friends inside. And so I was kind of scared that with the crisscross, so if you see, it's really, yeah, I was kind of scared that it would be too much. But honestly, I feel like this is the perfect amount of breasts, if I can say so. I feel like it's perfect. I'm really pleased. It's 1:30 p.m. Did I have lunch? No, but just for being so happy, it's worth it. So now I'm going to have lunch. Literally ages after everything you've seen so far. All the clips you've seen so far were end of June, max early July, and now we are end of July. And I quickly wanted to show you. I am making another swimsuit for another friend, my friend who lives for the US. I'm making a whole package for her with the paintbrush wrap, if you've seen that video. I wanted to show you, I've used the same system as I've used for my friend who's using this top as a pole dance outfit. I have just made the gap here a little bit smaller because the extra space needed for the breast was minimal. Just a little bit of extra comfort, a little bit of extra space. And here I've gone full lazy, so I haven't even retraced my piece. I've just put a ton of sticky tape on, but as you can see, I have an extra little bit of space here. So to make sure this matches, I have then put it here and added a little bit of paper here, sticky tape all the way, sticky tape for life. And here I have made sure that this matches in length. That means I have the length here and I have added a bit of space here to make sure that this matches. I just realized she also asked for a little bit more coverage on the top. So when I cut this, I might also put paper because it's typically the type of thing you're going to forget while you cut. Add also a bit of paper and sticky tape here to add a centimeter here. That's what I've done for the pole dance outfit, and that worked really well. Just an extra centimeter at the top to make sure it's not too deep on the breast. And so yeah, just wanted to show you, if you don't want to retrace, go full on sticky tape, and that works as well. For the bottom pieces, I'm using the button from the Sandpiper swimsuit, and she wanted it shortened by 4.5 centimeters from the high-waisted one. And what you should do is cut your pattern piece and then rematch it. Honestly, can't be bothered. What I do is that I have cut the top here, and then after having cut the top, I then slide my pattern up by 4.5 centimeters. And then here, I'm just going to be careful to kind of like true the line. So I'm going to come here, cut around this. And then once I arrive here, I'll remove the pattern piece, and then I'll have the start of this line, the start of that line, and then I'll make them meet. And this is the lazy way to remove 4 centimeters from the bottom pattern piece. I keep having to pause the laundry to film, and that's never going to work because that laundry is never going to be finished if I stop it every 2 minutes to film and talk to you. But I just wanted to say then for the lining pieces, I'm actually using the fabric pieces I just cut, hi Milo, to cut the lining pieces to make sure they match properly. For the lining pieces, I'm going to hide in the bedroom because I constantly have to stop the wash, but I just want to say I'm so excited to be back sewing. It's just so, it sounds terrible to be like, I was on holiday and I just missed my sewing, but it's true. And like, I don't really realize, obviously I'm enjoying being on holidays, but when I go back to the sewing table and I cut my projects, it's just this deep piece that falls onto me, and the flow of things you get into, because it's like figuring out how to cut your project and stuff. I just love it so much. And I was talking with a friend of the fabric store, and she was saying how she doesn't like cutting her projects, and what she likes is sewing, because if you cut something wrong, then it's cut wrong and it's over, while sewing you can always undo it. And it's so funny because I see that she's right, but I feel so differently. For me, cutting is such a peaceful activity, and sewing can give me a bit of stress. Generally, it's kind of like just popping the seal, you know, I'm like, I feel so stressed to start sewing, but once I'm there, it's like I can't be stopped. But I think there's a bit of a like sensory thing as well. Like sewing is a noisy, machine-based activity, and it can feel like a lot when cutting. I always have a YouTube video in the background, and it's just like me, my scissors, the fabric, and it just feels very, very peaceful as an activity. Like, it just, if you don't like cutting your project, I hope I can like infuse that into you, because it's really something I love to do. Maybe I should become a cutter, a professional project cutter, and not sew anything. It's like in the assembly line, I could be a cutter. I just find it very peaceful. It really grounds me so much. Like, I think I can't explain it through a video, but it's really like when I'm cutting a project, it's the feeling here, and it's like, it's amazing. And so I'm cutting swimsuits for my friends at the moment, and it just brings me so much joy. It's like, can I transmit this to you? I don't know, but it's like, I'm cutting the pole dance outfit for my friend, so the one I already made the leotard for. And oh well, you're watching this video, so you know I'm not going, but well, I'm cutting the pole dance outfit. We have done the FBA in a red fabric, and she's tested it and she said that's a good fit. So it's so nice to know that the FBA worked and that I don't have to refigure everything out. So now I have new pattern pieces in her size, and I can make her as many outfits as she wants because now I have the right sizing for her, and that's really nice. And then I'm making this other top. You've also seen, actually you've seen me cut it for my friend who lives for the States, and I don't know, there's something like, it's funny because we were talking about love languages this morning with her, and it's like, I feel like it's so special when you truly appreciate someone and you make something for them, and like while I'm cutting it, I'm like thinking of giving it to her and how nice it's going to be for her to have it, and hopefully think of me sometimes when she's gone. And it seems like people are not so fan of selfless sewing, like people really like to sew for themselves, which I also get. It's really nice to make outfits for yourself, but I really like sewing for others. It just, already because I have only one body, so it's like I can't wear so much clothing anyway, and also sewing for yourself, you always have to confront yourself with your own body size and everything, and it can sometimes be hard. Sewing for others, it's crazy because if you sewed for yourself like you sewed for others, what a transformation. But obviously we always feel different about our own bodies. But like I'm looking at my friends and I'm like, okay, you need extra space here and this and that, and it's like I don't see it with judgment because I'm like, I want to make the perfect garment that's going to fit them perfectly, and that just excites me so much. And yeah, maybe I should have this energy when I sew for myself as well, just focus on like making the perfect garment that fits perfectly. But in any case, just wanted to say, if you never sewed for others, definitely, you know, give it a try. It's so, okay, now I'm starting a whole tangent, I'm sorry, but like yesterday I was at my cousin's wedding, and if you've seen the video from a couple of weeks ago, I made those bows and scrunchies for my cousin's wife's bridesmaids, and I thought she was going to give them the scrunchies and the bows like after the ceremony as a thank you or whatever. She gave them the bows and the scrunchies. Oh my god, it makes me so emotional just talking about it. She gave them everything the morning of the wedding, and so they were all wearing the bows and the scrunchies during the ceremony. Like when I saw them all walking down the aisle wearing all the bows and scrunchies I had made, you know, it's really like you spend time and effort making things for people, and when it's really appreciated and you made them so happy, and it made her so happy and it made me so happy. And just wanted to say, like, it's really nice to make things for others, and when it's appreciated, it really feels special. And here with the swimsuits, I have two very different experiences, because I have this first friend who's been the kindest, because she came for so many fittings, because with the leotard there was so many fittings, and then the first top that, as you saw, was not safe for the internet, and she tried it and she was so patient, and I was like, okay, I have to do an FBA, and then I did the first FBA, but the elastic wasn't quite right, and you know, she kind of knew that she was being my guinea pig, so I could improve in my skills. But like, if no one wants to be your guinea pig, then you can't improve. So it was just so nice that she spent so much time with me, and actually we hadn't seen each other so much recently, and all this time she spent at my place getting fitted was lovely. Like, it was actually such a nice time to spend with her. And then obviously there's my other friend who's leaving, and so that's a whole different bag of emotion, because it's truly special to make something for someone, and you know that even though they're going, they're gonna have a little something from you in their suitcases. And whew, don't know why I'm so emotional this morning. I just wanted to say that I was really happy to be back sewing. Makes me so happy. Maybe we have like one more week of holidays now. Obviously that's like far in the past for you, because this video is going to come out later. But when you travel a bit, and here I've been lucky in the sense that I've traveled like a few days in Germany, a few days on the bike. Now I'm going a few days in Normandy, and I have a few days at home between each travel, so I get to sew, not be too far away from my machine for too long. But yeah, didn't realize, like with a few days away from the machine, I realized how much I love it and how it makes me happy to know that I get to do a lot more of it. Okay, sorry, I'm so rambly. I hope this motivates you to sew and to sew for others. And that if your love with sewing was dimming at the moment, I hope that this helped rekindle something. I'm giving you all the joy for sewing, and I hope that motivates you. Okay, so my 2 bikini tops and the bikini bottom are cut. The bikini bottom for the pole dance outfit I had already cut and sewn up, and it's all ready to go. We already had a first fitting for it, and my friend just needs to come back for the elastic around the waist, but so that's all done. So I have the top for that pole dance outfit and then a whole bikini. So 2 tops, 1 bottom. This is all I have. And it's Sunday, so I can't go and buy more thread. And that's going to be a problem. Pray that this is going to be enough for the top stitching. Really hope so. So yeah, that's 2 tops and 1 bottom. Can we make this happen? Shall see. And I ran out of thread. Literally, it's all done. So we have the bottom looking fabulous, the top, great coverage, a bit of extra space for the breast. The only thing that's not there is the top stitching that I want here to kind of like sew this seam down. I've tried them on and you can't really feel the seam, but I still feel like long term it's going to be much nicer to have this seam nicely tucked in and sewed there. And I don't have red thread, or I mean I have a light, but you know, now that there's the red thread here, I really feel like you need red there to match it, otherwise it's going to be a bit weird. So sadly we are so nearly there, but it's not finishing today. It's Sunday, so I can't go and buy more thread, and tomorrow I'm off to Normandy for a week. So I was really hoping I could deliver it tomorrow morning before we left, but that will not happen. That's life. I'm also very happy, again, avoided any misplacement of those circles that could have been really unfortunate, but all good. And yeah, I've got so many comments on Instagram already that this fabric is so pretty, and I have to agree, it's a very, very pretty fabric. It also feels amazing. You can really feel like it's a bit premium. It's from Cousette, by the way. It's a French brand. By the way, I've already said it, but it bears repeating. You can't actually commercialize sewing products that you have made from a pattern you don't own the commercial rights to. So for example, here, I'm making swimsuits for my friends. They have paid for the fabric. I have asked them to reimburse that from me, but I can't charge them for making the swimsuit for them because I don't have any commercial rights on the pattern, and so I can't make a profit from making that pattern. And that's something, because I'm encouraging you to sew for others, and maybe you're like, oh my god, I'm going to start a business and sell lots of swimsuits. Don't do that if you don't own the commercial rights to the pattern. That's illegal. Okay, I don't know how long this video is going to be because I have so many bits, like it's just so many clips that have been filmed over such a long period of time. I have no clue how long it's going to be. I just yesterday delivered the swimsuit, so it's the one that's made in the same fabric as this, to my friend who's leaving for the US, and I went to bring it to her, and she didn't come for a final fitting at my place because she's literally packing her whole life. I mean, she has a lot going on, but so for some elastics we were kind of like, well, the same as me but a bit tighter, and I did an FBA on her swimsuit as well, and now I feel like I maybe shouldn't have, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't fit perfectly. Yeah, basically I think I did too much FBA, and now there's not much support in the bra anymore, so I'm really like, do I try to, like, I still have some fabrics left because the swimming suit tops, it's kind of like lots of small pieces, so it doesn't take so much of the fabric. The most difficult bit is to make sure not to have those rounds on an unfortunate place, but that's the only thing that kind of like makes it a bit more fabric hungry. I went to give it to her yesterday and I was like, damn it, it's not like the perfect fit, and you know, it's just like you work on it and you want it to be nice, and I wanted it to be perfect, so hopefully it's good enough. But it's just like, if you have a bit of the perfectionist streak, it's really hard. Like for me, the item is not ticked in my head because it's not perfect. I'm like, I need to keep working on this. Okay, little update on the swimsuit for my friend. I am not going to remake her one. I was really hoping, I was looking at a few fitting things with her and I was like, maybe I just make one that has a smaller FBA and hopefully it fits, and then she keeps whichever top fits better. But looking at it, it looked more complex than that. Like it wasn't a clear, yes, that's the answer, let's go for it. And I wasn't going to spend the time doing a bra that might not fit either. So sadly, she's leaving for the US with a knot. I mean, it's fine. I have to keep telling myself like it's fine, but it's not like perfect. And yeah, that's just fault with time and fitting. It's also like bigger busts are a really tricky situation because you kind of want enough tension in the fabric so that they are supported, but enough fabric so that they're covered, and that's a very tricky balance to find. What I have found with fitting her, I really thought, because the fit wasn't so far off when she tried out my swimsuit, so I'm not sure what went wrong. But when we were looking at can I remake one and can I make it better, I really realized I was reaching the top of my current understanding of bra making and of lycra. And I was like, there's no point, because I don't think I can do much better, hopefully in the future. Like I still have a tiny bit of fabric, so maybe next time she comes in Belgium, I will have understood things better and I can make her a new bra. Who knows? But like at the moment, I was like, I don't think I can make better than this, and it's really tough to be like that's it. Obviously if she was staying, then I could just make bras until it works, which is fine, but here it's not an option, so sadly that's how it is. Okay, and now we are going back to the very first swimsuit because we still need to finish that pull dance outfit, so very speedy intro. Doo-doo-doo-doo. So this is something I'm going to touch on a little bit later, but the elastics in those projects were quite pricey. It's really my fault. I didn't find the best value for money elastic wise, but that really means that in the end, the elastics were quite budget. So this friend received the first bra, the tiny one that you saw me make that ended up being too small and needing an FBA. I still finished it because I was like, well, it's not... I mean, we're so close to the end. Let's finish it and see on her and on the fully finished garment what needs to be adjusted. She received a red one that was made in the leftover fabric from the leotard, and that one was the one where I muslined the FBA. And then now she's going to receive her final one, which has the proper FBA in the proper fabric because the muslin has been validated. But because the very small one is like totally unwearable, I decided to ask her to give it back so that I could get the elastics back, so that it would save her a bit of money, because otherwise if she has to reimburse all of the material, like it's €8 of elastic per bra, because it's €4 for this one and then €4 for the top ones. Like it's really expensive elastic wise. I know I made wrong mistakes. I shouldn't have bought them where I bought them, like I know. But so I was like, well, €8 of elastics, really worth taking it back. So I got that top back and I started getting the elastics back, and oh my God, I knew that it would be a pain, triple straight stitched, such a pain. But for only the bottom band, I spent 2 hours. So from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m, I was absolutely done with it by the end, but I managed. We got all the elastics back, and at least, you know, it's like not wasted elastics and it's quite pricey. So I'm happy that it's going to have a good life in a new top. But that was a lot of work. Oh. And this swimsuit, sadly, you shall not see finished. The video is like coming out tomorrow. I don't know if she's coming for a fitting tonight or later this week in the end, like still a bit unclear. I'm at the stage where everything is finished, but this bottom band elastic and the waist elastic, and that's two things I want to see with her in person during her last fitting to make sure they're perfect, because I am not unpicking a triple straight stitch again. So except if she comes tonight and I get a little bit of footage tonight, that's it. You won't see it finished, but as I muslined the red version, I can assure you that the FBA worked nicely and that it worked nicely on her. And the bottoms she's already tried, we already know they're fine and that they're gonna look great, so no worries there. Okay, so far in the lessons learned section, I have first for the price for a swimsuit like this. So again, I'm not putting any of my time or any, labor price on everything I do. So that's really just the fabric and notions, not counting the pattern either. We are at about 45 euros per suit. And actually the fabric of the main suit is quite expensive. The lining in the light skin colored lycra is a little bit cheaper. What really got the price up is the fact that you use quite a lot of threads. So 2 spools of threads, for me that's 8 euros because I pay 4 euros per spool, 4 euros to 4 euros 15. And the elastics, where I think I really didn't do it optimally. If I were to do it again, I would do it differently. So for most of the swimsuit, you use a smaller elastic like this one, and then for the bottom band under the bra, I use this one, which is very thick and really helps to maintain everything in. But the issue I've had, and now I'm kicking myself a little bit for it, is that this is like 1 meter of elastic, and so every time I've cut it for someone I need like 70 centimeters, I end up with a little bit that's not really usable. I have been keeping it. I think I might use it for myself at some point, patching it all together, but it does make the elastic less comfortable. And so every time I had a little bit of leftovers that is not really usable for proper finish, and it was just a very expensive way to use tape. I think next time I will definitely buy a few meters where you can cut it to size and not have silly small leftovers. And every time, if you see what I mean, every time if I buy 1 meter and I need 70 centimeters, the amount of waste I have from the elastic is really silly compared to if I had bought 4 meters and chopped it off in the right sections. I also just don't think that was a more economic elastics I could find. To be honest, I just started with that and then didn't really realize that it was just not so smart. Elastics were definitely quite an expense in the swimsuits, and it was not the best choice. Definitely, if you make a lot of swimsuits, buy your elastic by the meter and not like I did. That's definitely the biggest lesson for me. Because also you need a specific elastic for the underbust, because that needs to be like super supportive. You need a different one for your tummy, you need different ones around your armholes and your thighs. So, you know, you need quite a few different elastics. So if you do have this little bit of waste and expensive elastics for every space, it just ends up bringing the price up quite a bit, so something to be careful of. A little note on the pattern itself. I had already mentioned it kind of like at the end of the laid out video, but if you weren't there, I'm using the Claudia swimsuit from Jolly, and honestly this is not drafted for bigger cup sizes, so that was kind of a annoying bit. I had to do FBAs for everyone, well, in the end maybe not more for my friend, but for the first run for the pole dance outfit, there was just no way it was working for her without an FBA. It worked really well with the FBA, so just to keep in mind that they don't have different cup size options for you within the pattern, so you have to redraft them yourself. And finally, with the Jolly pattern, they tell you to do a straight stitch and then a zigzag stitch on the side to finish your seam properly. The way I've been doing it is the triple straight stitch on the seam and then a zigzag for the end. Now I have to say this is quite a pain to sew, and the triple straight stitch, if you need to unpick it, you are in for quite a nightmare. So for my own swimsuit and for the swimsuit I made for my friend, I've used a zigzag stitch. I think it's quite traditional to use a zigzag stitch for a swimsuit. I don't think it's, you know, bad, but like you can definitely see the stitches more if you pull around than with the straight stitch. So I've decided that for the swimsuit it'll be fine. That's what I had for my Sandpiper swimsuit, and it's been totally fine. I've already worn it a ton. So I've done that, and for the friend for the pole dance outfit, then I have done the triple straight stitch, because I think that the suit is going to have a lot more tension going on, a lot more pulling in every direction, and so I wanted to make sure that this was really, really solid. So for her I did go with the triple straight stitch. I did have to unpick some of it, and it was absolutely not fun, but worth it for the solidity of the stitch. Yeah, that's kind of a trade-off. I mean, really the triple straight stitch, when you pull your seam apart, you absolutely don't see the ladder of the stitch in between. So yeah, I really hope that the swimsuits are going to be fine in the zigzags. At the same time, my own swimsuit is in a zigzag and it's been fine, so I think that was the right call to do. But just so you know, there's a choice to be made, and it's definitely less comfortable to sew with a triple straight stitch. I also need a starter for every single seam that I do with that stitch. When the zigzag, I can just go and sew. So it affects the sewing process a fair amount. It really takes longer for me, and especially if there's any unpicking to do, then you're adding a lot of time to your construction. One thing I like on the jelly patterns, I don't think every pattern I have from them has that, but this one has it, and it's a little picture on the pattern pieces. So when you are cutting out your pattern pieces and deciding which ones you need to cut, you actually have the picture for the different views, and so you know if you are cutting, I don't know, the high-waisted version or the low-waisted version, it's all on the picture. So it's really easy to actually cut only the right pieces. A small detail, but I had literally never seen that, so that's great. So to get a perfect fit on your swimsuit, I don't think you'll be able to escape a muslin. With my first swimsuit, the Sandpiper, I was very close to the measurement on the size chart, so I felt very safe to just go for it. I also didn't want to bother making a muslin, but that top is much more like a sports top almost than really a bralette. With a pattern like the Claudia from Jelly, it's really, you are making a bralette, and if you want it to be supportive, covering enough, well-fitting, you are going to have to muslin it. Like, there's just no getting around it. So what I had is I had a little bit of leftover fabric from the red leotard, and I made a test version of the FBA in that, and then once we agreed that this was a good fit, then I cut into the good fabric for the pole dance outfit. And for my friend who lived for the US, I couldn't do a muslin because we were a bit pressed with time, and she just tried on mine, and we kind of made adjustments comparing how she was fitting in my swimsuit, and really the result is it's not perfect, and that's only because there was no time to muslin it. Second, after the muslin, you need to have fittings. So if you are making a swimsuit for yourself, that's perfect because you are on hand at all time. But honestly, for the pole dance outfit I've been making, it's really great. She's been coming a few times because elastics, yes, you have the size of elastic that the pattern tells you, but depending on how tough or not your elastic is, it's going to have a very different feel. So actually, I find it crucial to have the person on hand to test the elastic on them, to be like, is that comfy? Do you need more space? Do you need it tighter? And to fit the elastic on the person. That's the only way to have it perfect. So yeah, I really don't want to scare you. It's totally possible to fit a swimsuit nicely. It's just a question of really making a muslin, taking notes of everything that needs to be changed, taking your time making the changes. Try also not to overfit, because that's what I've done probably for the swimsuit of my friend, trying to correct several things at the same time. But by the time everything has been changed, you don't know which element helped and which one was the one too many. So unknowingly, you might need to change one thing at the time, or like as minimally as possible, because things do influence one another. I realize I've talked a lot about the fittings of the top. In the bottom, two things you have, well, one thing you've seen me do and one thing I have done, and I'm going to tell you now. For my friend who's living for the US, I lowered the rise, which is a very easy thing to do. You just, get your waistline down a little bit, and then that's all good. Watch out, because if you see how I've done it, I've just took the top and then lowered it. But that is because we had seen that the top of the swimsuit was actually a good size, 4 centimeters lower down. But depending on your body shape, you might not be able to just do that, because the top is a little bit narrower. So if you imagine you take it down, it's going to take this narrow part now here, and it might be too narrow. So maybe for you, it's more of a question of cutting across the pattern where it is, just, chopping the top of the pattern off. So something to be mindful of. In our case, it was fine to use the top, cut the middle, and then have the bottom, if you've seen that part in the video. So something to be mindful of. Be careful how you adjust your rise on your bottoms. But one thing I also wanted to mention, and I have not shown in the vlog, is that for the pole dance outfit, I've actually added a little bit of space in the crotch covering area, and that is because this is not going to be a bikini. This girl is going to be upside down, legs open, on a pole with this, and I wanted to preserve her decency. So what we did is that we compared the crotch width with the different pole dance outfit she had and liked the fit of, and I matched it so that it was as wide as those things. So I think I added 1 centimeter on either side, basically, just to make sure, because, you know, a bikini you're just going to be on the beach with, maybe a little bit in the pool, but like maybe not super active in, is not the same thing as a pole dance outfit. So here I did adjust the fit a little bit to make sure that it would fit nicely. So depending on your preference, that's also something you can change, obviously. While we're on the topic of Lycra, I really want to make myself bike shorts for my next bike trip. As you might have seen, we've gone bike packing, my wife and I, on the border between Belgium and Germany. It was a really nice bike trip, but I was wearing cotton shorts, and honestly, you just sweat so much in them, and the sweat doesn't leave cotton as well as if you were in Lycra. So I definitely want to start making bike shorts. So I'm really curious, if you have made leggings or bike shorts, please let me know what patterns you've been using. If you leave me to my own device, I will make the Avery leggings by Helen's Closet, because I love Helen's Closet. I know that the pattern shape tends to fit me, so I will go with the safety of Helen's Closet and do that. But you know, if you have anything that you would suggest for a bike trip, let me know, because I'm ready to dive into legging making. So that's it. It's really weird because I'm filming the outro before I finished actually the video, but I hope this was interesting. I hope you learned how to do an FBA on a swimsuit, and that it was interesting for you to see me make all the swimsuits I made this summer. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't hesitate to like it if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to come back in the future. Yeah, now I'll go and actually finish the suit that you have already seen in the video. That's really weird, but I'll go and do that. And don't forget that you can make anything. Bye! Bit of the perfectionist. If you have a little bit of the perfectionist, I can't say that word, perfectionist. Triple stretch.